Eric Morris, Oklahoma State's new head coach. He's not afraid of the smoke.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. And again, thanks for tuning in to Locked On Sooners. So Jay, Eric Morris was introduced as Oklahoma State's head coach on Monday, and he was asked about Bedlam, and he didn't mince words. He was not afraid to speak on it, and he said, "I welcome that game with open arms."
Y'all hear that? Somebody ain't afraid of the smoke.
Chad
Somebody's ready
Weiberg.
to go ahead and play. You hear that? You hear that? Hey, I mean, I am not anti having that game return. Do I care that much? Not really, be absolutely honest. But it'd be nice to have, because it just, it gives Oklahoma a guaranteed P4 opponent every year, similar to what Florida does, similar to what, South Carolina has, Georgia has with Georgia Tech. That's just kind of guarantees it based on the parameters of how the conferences, how the SEC wants a minimum P4 opponent to go along with the new 9 game conference schedule, in which they always require you to play at least one P4 opponent, and Oklahoma's always found a way to play one, maybe 2. So it's not like it's a situation where we weren't doing this, but I'm not opposed to it coming back. How you feel about it, John? You want it to come back?
I love it. Yeah, bring it back. So here's the Fuller quote. He said, "I'd love to get on the phone with anybody that we know that could help us bring that game back. If they're asking if Coach Morris welcomes that game, I'd welcome it with open arms." And so would I. I like in-state rivalries. I like this kind of thing. Like Texas A&M playing every year. Love that. That's one of those games that should happen on a regular basis. The Longhorn Network screwed it up for them and for A&M to not have that. No, Texas fans, I'm not letting you off the hook. You're going to say A&M left, but it's really the Longhorn Network. So these games matter. Colorado State, like, it may not be Oklahoma's primary rival, but it's still a matchup that I think creates buzz in the state of Oklahoma and just makes football better in Oklahoma. I know that Sooner fans are like, oh, we don't need it. It's not really a rivalry. It's fine. I get it. You can have that stance. I'm not going to argue with it, because Oklahoma has dominated the series for most of its tenure. Only at the last few years of the game did Oklahoma State kind of even some things out just in recent history. So I get you. I totally get you. At the same time, I just think that for the economy of Oklahoma, for just creating more buzz about football in Oklahoma, I think this is a game that moves the needle in a way that I don't know who Oklahoma State played on the last weekend of November. For them, it won't move the needle as much as Oklahoma visiting Stillwater. Yes, Oklahoma hosting LSU on the last weekend of the season. That's huge. That's big time. That is I won't say LSU's a blue blood, but that is a power matchup. Whenever the game is played, Oklahoma having Oklahoma State in Norman, to me, is better than having Houston come to Norman or SMU come to Norman or pick just a random P4 opponent. It's a game that moves the needle.
To me, I want to go ahead and just make it 2. Grab them with somebody else. I still want the Michigan type game.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of that.
Ohio State on occasionally. Give me some Washington coming to town. That would be fun. That's a little bit different. Oregon, let's do that again. We haven't done that in forever, even though, we're still pretty jaded about the last time that they showed up and decided to steal the ball, on a fumble that we had the ball in our hands and we walked away with. But, I wouldn't mind seeing a team like them. Arizona State, hey, let's do it. Yeah. Bring that stuff too. But at the same time, I'm not going to fight it. Let's put it this way. You won't hear me say, oh, absolutely not. I don't care.
He's going to give your boy John a bone on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that. I'm not going to fight you on it.
Yeah.
I'm completely indifferent in the entire circumstance. But hey,
I want it back because I wanted to kind of like, hey, Mike Gundy, you were just being petty for the last several years, but now there's a coach that's here that's cool with it. He's not afraid of the smoke. He's not afraid of playing Oklahoma every year. He's not butthurt about Oklahoma leaving. Like, it creates a little bit more, positive momentum just for that program. Because listen, what happened since Oklahoma lost to Oklahoma State in Bedlam, and since Bedlam was no longer off the schedule, Oklahoma State fell into a level of football darkness that we haven't seen, at least in my lifetime, watching college football. Like, I've never seen Oklahoma State this bad.
Oh, it's awful too. They're terrible.
And
have they won a P4 game since Arkansas?
Yeah, they beat Arkansas. I don't know if they've won a P4 game since then. They haven't won a Big 12 game.
Yeah, well, then they haven't won a P4 game since Arkansas last year.
Yeah. And I know people think I'm crazy for this take, Jay, but Oklahoma State playing Oklahoma, it gives them something to chase. If you have like siblings in your household, or you got a big brother, you're always trying to beat big brother. You're doing everything you can. You're working your tail off, whether it's on the sticks, playing video games, running races, out on the hoop, whatever it is. You're trying to beat big brother. You want to do everything you can to beat big brother. Since they haven't had big brother to chase, they have been rudderless and directionless. And that's what's led to their program falling into the pit of despair that it's become.
Wow. They beat Arkansas and have lost every game except for against Tennessee, Martin, since.
And so I'm not a charity case for Oklahoma State, but they need this game. They need to get Bedlam on.
20 out of 21 games.
They need something for their fan base, for their donors, for the kids in the state of Oklahoma that don't get offered by Oklahoma, that come to Oklahoma State. They need something to rally around. And it's always been around facing Oklahoma and beating Oklahoma. That was the drive. That was the thing that gave them direction, gave them purpose. And they don't have that. And here we are.
I knew it was bad. This is way worse than I would have expected. So anyway, but like you said, to me, I like the idea of doing this. I think it'd be a good idea to bring back that in-state camaraderie and banter.
Yeah.
Something we can care about. I mean, I think Eric Morris is going to do a really good job there, though. I always thought he was a great, fantastic hire. Felt like he was, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get a look in the SEC, truth be told. Arkansas, you probably should have looked at him. That's the one you should have found a way to get the contract going or whatnot. He would have been excellent over there. Mainly because he does a really good job of finding diamonds in the rough. Mm-hmm. And you're going to need that as you're trying to rebuild your program. I mean, Oklahoma State's quote unquote has money. I just don't know if they're going to spend it anymore after what went down in this last debacle. But hey, figure that out, man. That will be a good one for you all. And I mean, I like Eric Morris. I think he's a great hire for them.
And to your point, Jay, about having Oklahoma State and still scheduling massive P4 games with a Michigan or Ohio State, or shoot, Indiana's a good program now, or playing Clemson down the road like Oklahoma's got on the schedule. And Nebraska is also on the non-conference schedule later in the decade. Conference or college football playoff expansion is coming.
Yep.
And
unfortunately.
So even if you have an extra P4, say you play 11 Power 4 games, a 9-3 team is going to get into a college football playoff when it's 16 teams or 24 teams. Like, that is coming down the road, whether we like it or not. That's what's going to come. And so don't be concerned about having more challenging games on your schedule, because actually having more challenging games on your schedule is going to help differentiate you from the teams that don't have a challenging Power 4 schedule.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually very true.
Like, look at Notre Dame. They're being held back right now because their schedule is cheeks. That's why they didn't make college football playoff. So anyway, that said, I don't want my program to be afraid of the smoke. Sometimes it's going to bite you. Sometimes you're going to be a beneficiary of it. But if you develop the program you think you should have at Oklahoma, then it shouldn't matter. You should be flirting with 9, 10, 11 wins every single season anyway.
That's true. That's a very good point. You should. And let's get on the phone and see if we can get something happening in the next 3 years.
There you go. Joe C, as your final act as the Oklahoma Sooners athletic director. Let's make this happen. That's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks for tuning into the show today. We're looking forward to just talking more about Oklahoma and the college ball playoff and the latest in recruiting. So make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On Sooners so you get all the latest episodes. And did you make a Locked On Sooners Spotify Wrapped? If you listen on Spotify, prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our national Locked On Podcast Network account on any social platform and we'll drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. For those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Football. Again, he's Jay Smith of Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. I'm John Williams. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll check you then. Boomer.
Sooner.